What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today's video is about Nobara 40, and there's 5 versions of it now. There's the official, which is a custom themed KDE. You know, KDE. Bugs galore. Then there's the Gnome clean version. There's the normal KDE version, which is a clean version of stock KDE. There's a Steam HTPC version, which is Nobara customized to look and feel like the Steam Deck, obviously. And then there's the Steam handheld version, which you can install on your Steam Deck, ROG Ally, and other handheld devices. And of course, 4 of those have an NVIDIA alternative, which is nice. Now, we're going to grab the NVIDIA Gnome ISO because that's the one with the most stable desktop environment still. And I think that will remain true for a very long time until, you know, KDE gets their crap together and starts actually fixing the important bugs and issues that drive me absolutely crazy. Yeah, I think that's a fair assumption. Now, in the description, you're going to find a video that teaches you how to deal with Ventoy. Ventoy allows you to take a normal USB drive and boot standard ISOs in this format from it, which means it makes it so you don't have to be constantly rewriting your USB drive, which actually makes it last longer, which is nice. Yeah. So I've already dropped the Gnome NVIDIA ISO onto my USB drive, and we're going to boot it up, and we're going to install it on this NVMe. Okay, let me just get that right up there in your face. All right, so it's going to be a fresh install. And you're going to see the installation process. You're going to see the first boot. You're going to see the setup process, which gets me to my basic needs. And then we're going to go over some other things about Gnome so I can help you customize it according to the way that you would probably like it. I'm going to be going over a lot, so this is not going to be a short video at all. So let's just jump right into it and get to the point. And I'm probably going to be pretty honest about a few things here in this video, so remember to leave your thin skin at home if you got any, or if you're one of those people that will bitch and complain about anything. If you want to do that, well, that's what Reddit's for. Here on YouTube, we like to learn, adapt, grow, and understand other people's opinions, or at least that's what I hope YouTube will turn into. That's what I want my YouTube to turn into. And if you're into that, hit subscribe right now. Don't forget to like the video. And well, I gotta pull out my desktop and get this in here one way or another. I'll be right back. Alrighty then, so this is the live install environment. By the way, it takes about 1 to 2 minutes to get here if you are an NVIDIA user, because the ACK mods need to build. So if you're freaking out that it's not booting, trust me, if it's going like this constantly, well, you can't see what I'm doing, like in a circle motion on your boot screen, you're fine. Just give it a minute, okay? If you're worrying, you can watch what's happening by hitting the escape key, and it will show you verbose mode, okay? So we're going to hit next on this, next, and we're going to hit English because I am an English speaker somewhat, and I'm going to do a complete erase disk. Now, if you're coming from Windows and you want to dual boot with this, you hit alongside or install alongside, and that will basically make room for your Windows partition. And you're going to, here, I'm going to show you. You're basically going to choose the partition, and you're going to be able to choose the size of the partition that you want to install it on. And I find that's really, really useful for new users. And we're going to do swap to file. Okay. Now, this is going to use Btrfs. It's perfectly fine for NVMEs. You're not going to have any issues with it. It allows for different types of things like, what is it again? Easy backups and compression and other stuff. I forget about the other stuff. Anyway, it's fast. I'm going to enter my name. We're going to enter the password. Thank you for not making me enter a very long password. And use the same password for the administrator account. Yes, you want this. You need this. This is something you have to do. Now, it's going to go over the details about what's going to happen. So in other words, it's going to erase this whole disk and install Nobara 40. And that's the installer. Pretty simple, dead easy to use. Anybody can do it. Nobody should be getting confused about it because it's been designed in a way that it's for any user imaginable. And I'm going to move this around a little bit to make sure that, yeah, we're good on that one. Anyway, I will see you on the desktop, and I hope you stay tuned because Hey, if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe and hit like on this video. I do these videos to help out new users, beginners, people who are wanting to learn these new distros. And if you're one of those people, you belong here. We have amazing community that is very friendly, and we give each other advice, we help each other out, we do whatever we need to do to make sure Linux runs for us. So if you're one of those people, jump into the Discord, join the community, don't forget to subscribe. All right, so the installation is done. You're going to be greeted with this screen that asks you basically if you want to restart now or if you want to hang out inside the environment and get more used to Nobara. It's up to you. Also, I want you to note something, that the icons are currently a little bit busted in the ISO. Instead of choosing these nice ones, it currently defaults to the Gnome icons, which look horrendous, by the way, and that's not how it's going to look once you finally boot into Nobara for the first time. Anyway, we're going to hit restart, and we're going to get things going on the first boot. Let's jump into that, shall we? All right, so we're on the desktop. Here we are. All I did was install OBS, and then I had to update OBS, which is fine, of course. I don't mind at all, but you're basically given the welcome screen, your first steps. So you update your system first off. You can open up the driver manager next. We're going to take a look at a bunch of this stuff, and you can see we're running the latest driver, which is always fantastic. Then you can install more apps and software, install web apps as recommended additions, so Blender, on some reason Kden Live. There's Discord, there's optional steps. I don't find that these work at all, but it is what it is. And then you have a Proton GE installer and some Steam fix-ups. You can adjust your look and feel, do whatever you need to, add extensions to your desktop. I doubt this is actually going to work or do anything anymore. I don't even know why it's there. You could choose a display manager if you want it. So if you want, you can select SSDM, Light DM, you name it, it's all there. Troubleshooting issues, join the community, and that pretty much goes for that. Now, what I want to show you, and we're going to clear out all this, then we're going to do Shift+++++, is we're using uname R 6.8.12 kernel. Now, this is the newest as of right now for Nobara, but soon, hopefully the 6.10 kernel will drop, as it is one of the most stable kernels that we've had of this generation of kernel so far. And honestly, it would be amazing if it did. Now, I'm not going to really do much to this besides what I said I would do. So we're going to start off with Flatpak, install, if I can spell install, extension, if I can spell extension. Oh my good God. All right. And then manager. Now, this is only if you have installed the Gnome version, because this does not apply to the KDE version. Gnome uses extensions. KDE uses widgets, which are also a form of extensions because they are extensions of your desktop environment. So KDE is entirely designed off of extensions, in other words, widgets, and Gnome has a whole bunch of stuff built in, but you can also add stuff on with extensions and the extension manager. The extension manager itself does this really cool thing where it pulls extensions down from within your desktop environment without needing to go to a browser. So that's what we just did right there. And we're going to hit this button, go over here, then we're going to travel all the way to the side, and here is extension manager. As you see, it comes with this one pre-installed, so this allows you to have a system tray icons. And then we have game mode. Game mode's currently broken. It doesn't work. It needs to be replaced, honestly, and it should. So we're going to install user themes, which allows you to change your themes. Extension lists, which allows you to look at your extensions that you currently have installed. And this next part depends on you. Okay, so we have dash to dock and dash to panel. Dash to panel creates a Windows-like environment at the bottom, so you have just a taskbar. If you like this, this is for you. This is not for me. My workflow centers around this, a dock. And the reason for that is because a dock allows me to have everything that's important to me right there and then. And sure, the panel does as well, but it just doesn't look as clean. It looks archaic. I don't know. It reminds me too much of Windows, and I'm trying to get away from Windows, okay? Next, we have Blur My Shell. What that does is it fancies up your environment and adds some blur to it and makes it look pretty. So far, so good. Now we're going to have Arc menu. Arc menu gives you a nice little additive of a menu. Next, we're going to add some media stuff. So a lot of people like to have what song they're playing up here. Other people like to have an expansive version of this over here. So it allows you to see what you're running for your audio and other stuff. And this pretty much allows you to do that. And I believe the last one is called Just Perfection. Now this thing is awesome. And I'll go over here in a second as soon as we are done installing Weather O'Clock. So for Weather O'Clock is the first thing we're going to set up. And as you can see, there's nothing there. You can't choose your gnome. You have to go over here, set your location, city, and Halifax. Done. And it got it right. It is 20 and it shows 20 there now. Good. So Just Perfection allows you to control certain individual things about your desktop environment. So you can choose minimal, super minimal, or default, or we can go over here and we can customize it. We are going to be customizing it. Okay, so I'm going to grab this edge. We're going to pull down. Now what I do here is dependent on me. I like a super clean look, and that's just what we're going to be doing. I want the clock to the right. I want it at least 10 steps over. And I want my dash to be 40. I've been going with this bigger look lately, and it's been working. Now, there's a whole bunch of other options you can choose, of course, but that's pretty much it for me. Super simplistic and simple. Next, we're going to go into QST. I turned it off by accident. Let's turn it back on. And you're going to, I just enable these three because they do this for me. Check that out. They allow me to select my audio and everything else. And they also allow me to control my audio as well. So there we go. That's done. Next, I'm going to be dealing with Blur My Shell. Blur My Shell is super simple and easy. I like the rounded theme around the thing. So we're actually going to reduce this to 19. And then I'm going to max out that. And we're going to make it look semi-pretty here at 80. 80 seems to be the best and it looks the best. Again, max this out and 80. Done. And now that they both match, it's really easy to do stuff. Now our theme is going to allow us to have some pretty cool blur stuff. You can choose the theme. You don't have to choose the theme. It's completely up to you, right? But for me, it gives it sort of a nice transparent look. We're going to add it here as well. And that's about it for this. We're done on that side. Next, we're going to head down to Dash to Dock. Again, if you want a panel, you can have a panel. All right, you can do whatever you need to do. For me, I like a dock more. Move to beginning, and I do not want to show that. I want to shrink the dash. And you may have noticed Blur My Shell just broke. It happens all the time for some reason. I don't know. If you have a 1080p display, it won't break. If you have a 1440p or higher, it will. It's a bit annoying, but it is what it is. Okay, so far, we're doing very well. And we're going to pin some icons to here. So you may notice that you can right click stuff and pin it. It's really cool. It helps a lot. And by default, we have Steam. By default, we have Lutris. And that's really good. And there's also Proton Plus, and there's an NVIDIA driver thingy here. You have time shift for backup and all this other cool stuff. I'm going to go in here. We're going to install the newest version of Proton, but unfortunately, we have to open up Steam first. Now, Steam setup is pretty easy. Click it, open it, enable compatibility, and then you're able to install what you want. As you can see, it automatically updated. We're installing the newest version of GE Proton 9.10, and the reason we're doing this is because it has the most compatibility with games, period, and the best performance with games, period. Not only that, but it's a lot more up to date than the experimental versions, the beta versions, and other things like this. It is honestly a must, and you'll be using this on Lutris and Heroic as well. And about Heroic, we need to go and install Heroic Game Launcher. Now, you may notice that I have a dot in the center of my icon, and that is going to bug the crap out of me. So we're going to just change that to have the dots at the bottom. I don't know why that issue's still not fixed, but again, fix it already for the love of God, please. Please, just fix it, okay? Now, Heroic Game Launcher. Heroic Game Launcher. And we're gonna just go here. Now, I know that GitHub can be super confusing and looks super mean. Let me just break this down for you. Code is up front, along with the README and everything else. The README usually explains on how to install things and compile things. Issues are for complaining. If you have a bug, complain about it. Don't complain about it. Make sure you give it to them along with bugs, debug logs, and everything they need. Pull request is upcoming features. Discussion is nothing. Actions, builds, things, projects. Shows you what's coming. Wiki, if it has one, has a lot of stuff on this side. It basically tags and stuff like that. As you can see, sponsor the projects and the contributors. And also the release page. The release page is where you go and you download things like this. Now, I don't know if we can still install applications with Gnome software, but so far, it looks like we can. Yes. So now that that's done, we have Heroic Game Launcher as well. Heroic Game Launcher allows you to play Epic Games, GOG games, and Amazon Launcher games, and that's pretty important. And the next thing we need is Go App Image. And the reason we want this is so you can install app images pretty easy, okay? This is an amazing application. It's very useful, and it makes things super easy for new users who don't know what an app image is or what it does. We're going to go to Properties, Expand as Program, Executable as Program. We're going to open once. Just double click. And as you can see, it didn't really do it because I don't know why, but it is what it is. I think it just opened wrong. And if we did it right, we should see an application folder. It looks like we might be missing something. So we can do this. We can do app image, and it doesn't have permission. So chmod plus x app image, and then we should be able to just double click it. Done. We go into the home directory, you can see applications. Applications is where you drop your app images now. And I'm basically going to grab an app image. It's the Cider app image. And I'm going to drop it in here. And that is instantly saying that it's installed and you can launch it if you want to from your normal menu. And as you can see, there it is. I'll put that right here. Now, I know most of you are wanting and needing a Discord client that does not suck. Well, I'm going to introduce you right now in this video to Sunroof. It's a fork of Desktop, all right? Basically, this is a certified web browser with plugins. It's not anything harmful or evil, and setup's pretty simple. Download the RPM since you are on Nobara, hit install with the software store, and you're good to go. Another way that you can install this is by right-clicking, copy the link, open up your terminal, type sudo dnf in, and control paste the link, and that will directly install it from, well, the download link, and you're good to go. Show you what that looks like. I'm going to make that pretty big. So you could do this with any RPM as long as it's x86_64. All right, what do we do now? Well, we have a lot of stuff in here, and dealing with themes on Gnome is still a bit sketchy. So I'm going to show you a theme that allows you to override libweta, and we're going to show you how to install it because this is a pretty good theme. It's minimal at best. So git clone. And I do get clone because I want to keep track of all my themes. I want to just be able to CD into it and update it. And CD Whitesir. Now, when you hit CD and there's a folder inside, you know the name of it, you can hit tab after writing the first few letters. It's called autocomplete. And we want to install this with -L. Now, this theme is so put together, so good, so well, so fine, that it will automatically install everything you need to run the theme. All right, and it will override libweta. It's amazing. It's a good theme. I very much enjoy it. Now, most people always ask, what icons do I use? So Numix icon circle. There we go. That's installed and ready to go. And the last thing that I need to grab is actually Numix folders. Numix folders allows you to change the colors of your folders in Gnome, and you just hit download here. You can, of course, git clone this if you want. It's up to you. I'm not gonna bother, and I'm gonna go in here, open in terminal. Actually, can we just like, you can edit that as admin, but yeah, we're going to do this. because I want you guys to see everything. So sudo /numix, again, tab for autocomplete numix folders. And I'm going to change this to style 4 with a default of blue, but you can change it to purple or whatever else that you want to change it to. Once it's finished and it says it's closed, right about there, and you can exit out of the terminal. And then once that's all done, there's an application here called tweaks. We go into appearance. You can set dark, and numix circle, basically overriding the theme of everything. Just like that, everything is up and running. All you got to do is log into your Steam and you're good to go. And from this point on, Nobara is all up to you, okay? But here's the thing. I know if you're new to Linux, you're going to get very stuck when it comes to Steam and enabling Proton, especially the Proton version that we just finished installing. So I am going to sign into Steam. Then I'm going to exit Steam. We're going to set up Steam real quick, and I'm going to get you on your way to immediately to gaming, okay? So exit Steam, just like that, because we have to register the new Proton version. And this is wrong, so I need to just correct this or else I'm going to go crazy. I'm going to open up Steam again. So when you have dash dock, again, you can drag icons in here, or you can go into here and do whatever you need to. So notice that stutter real quick. Well, I'm going to show you how to solve that, because that is a bug that happens on Gnome. It's annoying. And if you're impatient like me, you could use the extension called Impatience to fix that stutter. It's gone. Now, I'm going to go to Steam. We're going to go to settings. We're going to go to downloads. We're going to turn this off. It doesn't need to be on anymore, despite what other people say. Trust me, we know better. We're a part of this community and we test things like this every day. Next, I'm going to go down here, and the closest place to me is not there. It's actually New York, and they have the fastest internet for me. So there we go. We're going to hit restart later. We're going to go to compatibility. We're going to enable this. We're going to restart later and select GE Proton 910. Once this is enabled and you restart, you will have the ability to run any game that you want. Games do not run on NTFS drives. So if you're new to Linux, you need to create an ext4 or ButterFS drive, something where you can install your games, or you can install them native on where you already have the application ready to go. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is Nobara 40. This is a clean setup from start to scratch. If you liked this video, hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe if you're like-minded people who also like Linux, want to learn, help, be part of a community. We're all here. If you have any issues with this distro, join the Nobara Discord for help on that. I let them handle it. They know this thing a lot better than I do. But this has lots of patches for Asus, Lenovo, and other things, ROG Ally, Steam. Basically, it allows you to have the most flawless experience possible. Oh, and another thing that it has that other distros do not is out of the box, look at that, variable refresh rate on if you support it. Bye, everybody.